Flashcards are one of the greatest, most versatile tools in all of studying. They're useful for learners of all ages, from toddlers to college students, and they're used in a wide range of topics, from basic math functions to hyper-specific vocabulary terms. I'm betting you've used flashcards before, but if you haven't, they're essentially just note cards with writing on both sides. On one side's the problem, and on the other side is the solution. So for multiplication tables, 4 times 4 would be on one side, and 16 would be on the other. But for vocabulary, you'd have the term itself on one side, surmise, and the definition on the back, to reach a conclusion without certain or strong evidence. To practice with flashcards, look at the front and then guess what's on the back. Finally, flip it over to see if you're correct. This is an extremely simple and effective way to study. By obscuring part of the information, we're practicing our ability to recall on command, which is basically what you're doing every time you take a test. However, just like any other type of tool, you can use flashcards more effectively as a learning tool when you develop great techniques. Anybody can pick up an axe and swing it at a piece of wood, but a seasoned lumberjack can take the same simple tool and make it look impressively easy. Today, we're going to help you get more out of your flashcards with the Leitner System. The Leitner system is named for its creator, Sebastian Leitner, a German commentator. The system was first described in Leitner's 1972 book, So Lernt Man Lernen, which translates to How to Learn to Learn. Put simply, the Leitner system groups your flashcards into categories based on how well you know the information. This helps you master topics that you're struggling with while not getting caught up on things you already understand. You wouldn't scrub a dish 5 times after it was already clean, so why don't you study a flashcard 5 times once you already know the information? Let's go through a step-by-step breakdown of the Leitner system in action. To get started with the Leitner system, you won't need many materials. First, you'll need your flashcards prepared. The Leitner system is especially helpful for massive, mind-numbing quantities of information, so the more flashcards, the better. Then you'll need a way to sort the cards into 3 groups. You could use little boxes, sandwich bags, rubber bands, paper clips, just whatever works for you. Here today we have these 3 pieces of paper. Now, these 3 groups should be labeled in some way indicating the 3 categories: every day, Tuesday and Thursday, and Friday. For this example, we'll start on Monday, although you can tweak the system to begin whichever day you're prepared to start. On day 1, you'll go through every flashcard in the stack. There are 2 outcomes when reviewing each flashcard. Either you can easily remember exactly what it says on the other side, or you're unable to recall the correct answer. For flashcards that you got right, put them in the Tuesday and Thursday group. For ones that you struggled with or answered incorrectly, put them in the everyday group. By sorting the cards in this way, you'll ensure that you're spending more time reviewing the cards you need to work on. After going through all the cards once, they should be sorted into one of these 2 categories. You won't have any in the Friday group yet. On Tuesday, you'll come back to your flashcards, which are now sorted into the everyday and Tuesday and Thursday groups. First, you look at the cards in your everyday group. These are the tough ones that you had trouble with the day prior. If you're still unable to recall the correct answers for them, no worries. Just put them back in the everyday group. The ones that you get correct, however, will become your new Tuesday and Thursday pile. Next, look at yesterday's Tuesday and Thursday pile. If you get them correct again, then they'll move up to the Friday pile. However, if you blank on the right answer this time around, you'll put them with the others in the everyday pile. At this point, your cards should be split into 3 groups. You're probably noticing the pattern here. On any given day, you'll review cards as indicated by the group names. Wrong answers go to the everyday group, while correct answers move up 1 group. Since day 3 is Wednesday, you won't be looking at the Tuesday and Thursday group or the Friday group. Just look through your everyday group. Any cards you get correct will get moved to, you guessed it, the Tuesday and Thursday group. Now that it's Thursday, you'll look at both the everyday group and the Tuesday and Thursday group. Correct answers move up 1 group, and incorrect answers go to the everyday group. Now that you've reached Friday, you'll review both the everyday cards and the Friday cards. The Friday cards are the ones that you're most confident in, so you may not have looked at them for several days. If you still know what they say, they'll stay in the Friday group. If you've forgotten, they'll move all the way down to the everyday group. Meanwhile, everyday cards you get right will move up to the Tuesday and Thursday group, as usual. From there, you repeat the process on the following Monday. The Leitner system has many advantages and benefits. Let's go over a few of the reasons for integrating the Leitner system into your studying habits. Eating 21 meals on Monday and then not eating another bite all week wouldn't go super well for you. And it's the same with studying. An ineffective way to study would be to procrastinate even looking at your flashcards and then stare at them for hours the night before your test. The Leitner system helps you process the information in your flashcards by incorporating the review into your daily study routine. Going through the flashcards once every day will be significantly more effective than going through them 5 times at the end of the week. And just like food, these bite-sized learning sessions will be much easier for your brain to digest. Over the years, I've watched hundreds of hours of football games, so why am I not in the NFL? Well, never playing football in my life is probably a major factor. Participating actively in something will always be more impactful than passively participating. It's the same with studying. Just reading or watching videos doesn't thoroughly work the information into your brain. By reviewing with flashcards every day, we work actively with the information, strengthening our active recall abilities. You may have heard the old saying, there's only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. This quote is literally true. Nobody could eat an elephant in a single bite, other than maybe Godzilla. But the true meaning of the saying is that daunting tasks become more realistic if they're simply broken up into parts. If you've got a massive stack of flashcards covering dozens of vocabulary terms, your head might be swimming by the time you're halfway through. Our brains can't take in all of that information at once, so we benefit greatly from the spaced repetition of the Leitner system. How do you feel when you're being lectured about something you already understand? If you're like me, you probably said, bored. And what do our brains do when we're bored? They wander. They wander away to other places, and we begin thinking about what's for lunch, or what's for dinner, or what we had for breakfast. I can almost smell the food now. But wait a minute, we're studying. We need to focus. Before we wrap up, here are some tips for a successful Leitner system. With this system, you're going to be looking at your flashcards many times, so don't skimp on the quality. Take some time making great flashcards at the beginning to set yourself up for an optimal process later. Make sure you're keeping your writing concise. If you find yourself writing an entire paragraph on the back of the card, that might mean the concept is too complex for a single flashcard. You should split it into a few cards if possible. If you're a visual learner, don't be afraid to include images or diagrams. Proofread your flashcards to avoid careless errors, and try techniques like color coding if you're dealing with a wide range of information. The Leitner system depends on your commitment. Don't skip a day, even if you're finding your focus being pulled to other topics or activities. Going through your flashcards once doesn't take that long, and keeping it consistent is an important part of digging the information into your long-term memory. Including your flashcard review in your study schedule will help you stay on top of things. This also helps you look at the big picture, ensuring that you're making progress toward your long-term goals like acing big tests. The ritual of performing the Leitner system may be rigid, but the system itself is quite adaptable. You can alter the specific days of the week to better fit your schedule. You can also alter how you label each group. Some folks opt to label them as easy, medium, and hard groups, with cards progressing toward the easy box, which is ultimately reviewed weekly. You can also experiment with a higher number of boxes. Once you've mastered a topic, you may place these cards into a 4th box to be reviewed only every other week, for example. This makes sure that you're still occasionally brushing up on topics throughout the semester, setting you up to absolutely crush your final. You can also experiment with only 2 boxes, hard and easy, choosing a frequency of review that works for your schedule. Essentially, every parameter of the system can be altered to fit your life. The way we outline the system puts Friday as an important review day, but if you've got a club meeting taking up major time on Friday, you can push that to Saturday. Just make sure that you're setting that as part of your system ahead of time. It's important that you're setting parameters and then stick to them. Well, that's our video on the Leitner system for flashcards. I'd encourage you to give this system a try. Customize it as much as you need and use it for as many subjects as you need. If you stick to it, you may find better scores in the cards for you. Thanks for watching and happy studying.